Hello, my name is Eva Ceguera, and I will be presenting on Chapter 2. Let me share my screen, and here it is. So Chapter 2 is on Creating Literacy Instruction for All Students by Thomas G. Gunning, and it is the 10th edition made in 2019. So there is an image of the book on the screen, and I will move my picture so you can see it better. And my name is Eva Ceguera. So here we go. So the three highlighted parts that I found the most important or that stood out to me the most were economically disadvantaged students, which you could find on pages 27 through 30, students with learning disabilities, pages 30 through 35, and RTI, which is response to intervention, on pages 30 and 46 through 48. And I try to choose various reasons. So economically disadvantaged students is something that I was really amazed by. It made me say, wow, I didn't know that, because I didn't know how large the numbers were. And it's pretty shocking to see the difference that a poverty school can have on students and their achievements. And students with learning disabilities is something that I still want to know more about, and I still don't fully understand, just because there's a lot of misconceptions and there's a lot of specifics, and I really want to take the time to learn more about the specific disabilities and what I can do as an educator to meet their needs. I want to be responsive and capable of being able to adjust my teaching so that I know that no child is left behind, that they're all included, they're all getting the support that they need. And for RTI, response to intervention, that's actually something that I'm not that familiar with, but after reading the book in the chapter, I actually want to know more about it, and I would really like to see like a video and see it in action. So let's get going. So economically disadvantaged students. There are high rates of poverty, which are an obstacle to literacy development for disadvantaged students. High poverty schools have more unexperienced teachers without the appropriate certification or advanced degrees. This is a factor that contributes to differences in reading achievements and test scores within low poverty schools. I found that to be pretty shocking. I didn't know that it made such a difference with the reading achievements and test scores. And we will go over the numbers in a little bit. And many students start off behind and struggle catching up. They have fewer resources, learning opportunities at home, and rely more on their schools, since that is where they are able to have access to books and technology and other resources that they may not have at home. And these numbers are something that really stood out to me. I found it very shocking to see the difference. So I made a little chart. So students from high poverty schools and students from low poverty schools. So students from high poverty schools, 55% of fourth graders perform below basic on NAEP tests. And on the other hand, students from low poverty schools actually had a number of 13%. So that shows a drastic difference in the school's quality. And 47% of eighth graders perform below basic on NAEP tests. And on the other hand, students from low poverty schools were only 13%. So you can see the huge difference between the numbers. And that is something that I was not aware of. I didn't know that the schools could make such a difference, the teaching that the students get. And I actually am very happy to hear that poverty and inequity can be overcome with quality schooling, responsive teaching, and learning opportunities. So how can we support these learners? We can build one-on-one relationships with them. We can provide a safe, inclusive, caring environment. We can build background knowledge and vocabulary. We can celebrate their successes because it's important that we acknowledge and we let them know that their process is very important and valued. And we need to provide balance. We need to provide access to resources, and we need to prevent the fourth grade slump that occurs to many poor students in different areas. That is another thing that I had never heard about, and I was really shocked to find out that a lot of students do well in many other grades, but there's something about fourth grade that there's a lot of struggling. So I think that it's important that we provide the appropriate help, motivation to help overcome that and prevent that from occurring. And this is a picture that I liked. Quantity and quality. It just really shows how the quality is something that if there's less students in one, if the students from the quantity are taken to the quality school, then it would make more students have more quality achievements. So I don't know, that's just the way that I saw it and connected it to the page. So students with learning disabilities. That is the different topic that I chose. And I just feel it's something really important just because shockingly, there's a high number of students with learning disabilities, and we need to be able to prepare ourselves to be able to help them be successful. I didn't know that about 6.7 million students are served under the EDEIA. In a typical class, one student in three may require differentiation or extra attention to reach his or her full literacy potential. Learning disabilities makes the largest group in special education. I did not know that, so that is something that I found really shocking as well. This chapter was just very eye-opening for me. And the term learning disability is controversial. Many disagree to what forms the whole. Approximately 80% of students classified with a learning disability have a reading difficulty. And on the left-hand corner, you can see a picture of just some specific learning disabilities. And again, they can look very different in different students, depending on the level that they have. So every student is unique, has unique needs, and we must accommodate every individual student. So how can we support these learners? We can provide them with materials on their level and supports. We can give extra instruction and reinforcement. We can provide meaningful learning opportunities. We can be consistent, check understanding, and track progress. We can provide effective feedback and promote inclusiveness. And we can adjust the techniques to help all students succeed and have their needs met. And, oh, I think I went a little too fast. I want to go back. There you go. So I found these images to be really beautiful and amazing. So they show how the educators are working individually and in small groups with the children. So they're able to track their progress, to help them, to provide feedback, to help them feel included, and so much. So I love those pictures. And then my last highlighted piece that I liked from the chapter is RTI, which is response to intervention. And it helps to ensure progress of all students and can be used as an identification tool for learning disabilities. Two main parts: build strong academic behavioral support program and provide tiers of support for struggling students. So there's a multitude systems of support, which we can see up here, and how it connects to the RTI, so the response to instruction, and the positive behavioral intervention strategies. I just feel like this is a great way, a great visual way to learn about the two main parts and how they work together. Monitoring of progress, collaboration, and consistency is key. So it is important to actually be consistent, to work together, and to monitor progress, because we need to see how students are doing. If they are progressing, if they need more help, if there needs to be adjustment or changes to the program. And here you can see the tiered support system in a more visual way. So in tier 1, there is core classroom instruction for all. So there's intervention for all students by differentiating instructions. And then there's the higher tier 2, which is targeted small interventions. And there are strategic interventions for students at risk of failure, supplemental support with increased time and intensity. And then there's tier 3, intensive individualized interventions. So this one's more customized support for at high-risk students, one-to-one or small groups. This one is mostly one-to-one or just very small groups. And then what happens after SPED recommendations or a service delivery model integrated within the tier of instruction matched to the student's skills needed, special education. So it is important to follow the steps, and then this comes last, just because we want to make sure that we actually do the correct assessments so that we can determine special education eligibility. And then how RTI connects to teachers. So teachers contribute and have a responsibility in implementing the program with fidelity for effective outcomes. So teachers need to stay true to the program and actually be consistent and put in the time and the effort. And teachers need to identify who needs more help and differentiate instruction to meet the students' needs. Teachers can help plan and implement during varied tiers. They may be involved in meetings to help plan and collaborate to ensure there are no gaps in the program. So teachers have a very important role. They can even attend meetings to help fill any gaps, to make sure there are no gaps. And here are some images. There's just some students reading, they're focused, and the teacher can take the time to observe or be passing around, or even having small groups going on to be able to assess. Here they are, students working together in a small group with a teacher, and here is a teacher having a meeting. And it could be with a parent or other stakeholders and people that care about the student's success and are connected to the RTI. And thank you for watching my video. I hope that you enjoyed my chapter 2 presentation. And make sure that you look back if you still have any further questions. This is a really great informative book. And thank you. And